Hey bros, what's up? What's up? What's up? How's it all? How y'all doing? Good, 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 good. Hey man, I know it's a little bit late. Hope everybody's having a good day. And I want to go over a pretty cool trade that we do. This is what we call a day-long consolidation play. Um, I love this type of trade, but this is also a great lesson in just kind of being persistent throughout the day and waiting for your right moments. I had literally the worst morning. Not worst morning in terms of losses, but the most frustrating morning I've had in quite some time. Like you see, like, dude, I couldn't make my first trade of the day was this airy. I was long this thing and short this thing, and I just couldn't get my mind right for some reason this morning. And it was chopping me up in the beginning. And, it ended up tanking just the way I thought. I was short this thing in the beginning, and it tanked, but I wasn't in it. All this back and forth and not sticking to my stop loss. I shorted this thing at like 710 or 711, and I had my stop loss high of day, and for some reason I pulled my stop loss and, ended up covering on the spike, and I lost on it like a couple times, and then I won on it and lost on it, and it was just like this spin cycle of despair. Not even despair, just like long, short, long, short. Anytime that ever happened to you guys, like, it's really frustrating. I had a thesis that I wanted to short this thing, and somehow, somewhere in there, I got caught upside down, and I longed it, and it was really frustrating. So I took a loss on that, and then, I had a trade in this JNUG, and I mistimed my entry, first of all. I was thinking that, it's down 4 or 5 days in a row, it's going to bounce off the support, and so, it pulled down to 17 at the open. And then I longed it as I started to fill the gap. But I got it way too high, so I just ran into its 9 EMA and then kind of rolled over. I just read this thing wrong, and my entry was just awful. Like, I bought too high, I got too excited, and then I held it too long, and I was losing 600 and something bucks on it, So, like, I'm just down. And then I tried to trade this SRPT at the open, and, these are small losses. Obviously, I'm taking, 1,000 shares of these type of stocks, and so my risk management was good, but I was just taking a little bit of loss here or there, and I was just grinding. Like, I just wasn't getting that a heater of the setup, that I thought, would get my day going. And so all day, in the morning, I just was frustrated, and I sat around for a couple hours after that. And I just stopped this RGSE. So this stock had, a PR out, and I missed this whole move, of course, right? I missed this whole move, 250 to 550. And that's okay. This is the thing you got to remember about trading, is that you may miss the first move, but there's always a secondary move and a thirdary move, right? I know that's not a word for the YouTube guys that like to always leave the comments. But there's always that next move, so a stock that goes up like this, it puts it on my radar. And it's up 100% or whatever, but that doesn't mean I take it off my radar. Now, I've had this shitty morning. I just can't get it going. And so the worst thing I can do is chase up this stock and try to create something out of nothing, because I'm trying to get some action going, right? Hit my goals. The worst thing you do is chase it up. So you got to be patient and understand that, hey, when a stock has a big move like that in the morning, it's going to need time, hours even, to heal itself and rest so it can build up the power to make its next move. And this stock had all the characteristics that we need to see in a big breakout, especially with this much expanding volume. It was the biggest volume day of its, I think, ever in this stock. And it used to be a reverse split stock, and so it has the characteristics for this monstrous move. And so that's where we had to be mindful of, is that we've got to wait for it. So, I saw a couple flags in it even before the big one. So, I hit this one at 5, and it popped up to about 540. I got a few pennies out of it, essentially, and then it kind of came back down and did nothing, right? And that's okay, because I know that this stock needs a bigger rest. After this one didn't go, I know it needs a bigger rest. And these things usually come after lunchtime. And so the range just started to tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten. And the key to this, when you're doing this type of play, is not to try to buy it right at highs of days when you think it's going to break out. Because if your pattern is loosey and it stacks up a lot, it's going to come back down to support potentially, and then you're going to shake yourself out of the trade, and then you're going to have to get back in it. And so what I like to do is make sure to be adding on dips in anticipation of the breakout, trying to add it on support with a stop under. And you know what? If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I can always re-enter with a small loss. And so, that's what we did. We started accumulating some of this at 485. I added, 1,000 shares, and then 508. Right as it started to break, I had another 1,000 shares. So not a huge, crazy amount. And then it was literally just, off to the races. As always, I like to sell a few into the highs. So I sold some of this $5.70 to $6 range. I'm just scaling out 500 shares at a time. And now it's just a matter of letting the stock do what it's going to do. That's the trade management, right? Anybody can draw a squiggly line on a chart and call it a breakout. But can you hold for the real move, right? Can you have the discipline to follow your trade plan and your set of rules to actually be able to extrapolate the gain that you need out of it, that you deserve, right? Especially if it's got the characteristics for a bigger home run type play. And guess what, guys? You don't know what stock's going to be the big move. I take 5 of these type of setups, and maybe 1 or 2 do really well, and a couple of them do okay, and 1 of them is a loss, or 2 of them are a loss. Anything can. You don't know exactly which one's going to be which one. All you can do is trade the patterns and know the characteristics and profile of what could be a big move, and then you got to do it. And then once you're in it, you got to manage the trade so that you actually can get that big move out of it, versus, hey, I got in this awesome stock and I took 10 cents out of it, right? That's not how you really going to make good money over your career. So as the stock is going, I've got my 9 EMA here, and so I can ride this up as it's going. And then once it starts going parabolic like this, and you're getting so far from your moving averages, now it's time to really scale out, and make sure. So I sold 500 at 7, and I sold a few at 750, and I sold the last ones at 790s. And, I ended up taking a really nice chunk out of this thing, just scaling out of it 500, 500, 500, the last like 200, 200 for the run. And that, that was pretty much it. I was happy with the results, but the main thing I was really proud of at the end of the day was, biding my time. I could have really tried to force the issue and try to get a home run out of this at the wrong time because I was frustrated with my day. But instead, I picked and popped and waited till the right moment before I went in full load with as many shares as I wanted to, the 2,000. And I got the good gain out of it. I got it really quickly because otherwise I could have grinded myself out, throughout the day, and I would have blown, some capital, but also most importantly, my mental capital. When I grinded out all day and I'm just taking small losses trying to force the issue, the next day I'm so tired, right? You're tired. You don't want to do anything after the market closes. You can't go exercise, hang out with your friends, talk to your parents, be a good brother, sister, mother. You're just beat, So always be mindful of that too. Wait your time. Your mental capital is just as important as your financial capital. Guys, feel free to ask me any questions or whatever. I look forward to hearing from you as always. Take care.